Yeah, thank you. It is a huge relief. I came down here for my rookie season when the 48 team was just started up, and we had to get in through qualifying, and that was a very stressful moment. So I've kind of fallen back on that experience, although it was 20 something years ago now. But it was stressful, and I'm just so thankful that the team put in the effort that they did to really help me. And I'm not joking. When I was at the shop last week, the 42 team, the 43 team, were all on my car, and their cars were still sitting there with a lot of work to be done. So this was a huge collaboration and an effort that I owe to the entire shop. Todd Gordon did a fantastic job of leading these guys, but the 42 and 43 teams really played a crucial role in our car being prepared fast enough to get in today.
All right, Jenna?
Jimmie, was that weird? Did it feel like the Indy 500 qualifying? Like you've never, since your rookie year, really hadn't had to experience anything like that in a stock car.
Yeah, there's a different feeling knowing there's something bad can happen. You might not be in the race. Did have that sense at the 500. But once I rolled off pit lane, fortunately that went away, and it's my first time in a plate car with this new next gen car, and the experience was way different than I anticipated. The ride quality was much rougher, so I didn't know if that was supposed to happen or not. And then when I pulled it into fifth gear, which was weird to go to fifth gear, the drag of the vehicle, the RPM dropped really far, and I didn't know that was normal. So the entire lap I made around, I thought something was potentially wrong with the car. RPM was really low, it didn't feel very fast, and then once I crossed the finish line, I heard we had a good lap. So it was stressful out there, more stressful than I intended it to be.
So I was going to ask you, I was watching you on the screen with another driver, and it looked like your car was bouncing, and the other driver said, "Oh, he's not even going to be able to finish a lap." So you did think there was something wrong? Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I
And
did
there
not
wasn't?
expect it to bounce like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was just porpoising like a Mercedes?
Yeah. Uh, great call out. It's, the bump stops and the way you run the car now and trying to maintain a certain aero attitude. All the teams go about it in a different way. And I felt it a little bit at Phoenix with the test session I had there, but this was way different than I expected. No, that seemed to be yeah. Maybe, I'm not sure it was optimal. Like, I haven't heard from the guys, but there was nothing wrong. Yeah.
Bob Pockris, Fox Sports. Jimmie, so I assume you did simulator time with this. Did none of that show up in the simulator?
I did. It felt silly to kind of do sim time for qualifying. We did go through it and did some reps, practice some pit road stuff, but the sim is a great tool visually, but the track content, modeling, bump stop loads, some of those really fine details are tough to get right. I'm thankful I did it, but the sim experience was different than the actual car experience.
And so when you finished your lap, did you think there's no way you're making the Daytona 500?
I did. The experience, because of the RPM and being so much lower with this rules package, I thought there was something wrong with the engine. I didn't think it was running correctly. And then I saw my name on the pylon when I came around off of turn 4, and I thought, well, much better than I thought, sitting there in 5th.
All right, let's go up here and then up to Jerry.
Jacob Seelman, 77 Sports Media and KickingTheTires.net. Jimmie, everything's different for you this year. New number, new team, new perspective, it seems like. And I'm curious what that's like. Before, it's been you, your team. When you were at Hendrick Motorsports, you just had to focus on driving the car. Now you've got a vested interest in not just your car, but 2 other cars in the field. I mean, are you finding yourself balancing the driver hat and the owner hat this week? Have you really thought about it all that much yet?
Yeah, it's been busy, and I'm still trying to find my stride. I'm still trying to understand on the team side where I'm best used, how I can help strengthen the team. But at the same time, I've got to drive and do my job inside the car and represent my sponsors. So it is a balancing act. Really, this is the first experience at track I've had, so it is all new to me. But I'm surrounded by an amazing group of people that really have my back and know we're growing a team together. So although our workload is intense and we're maybe not as far along as we want to be, just because the announcement happened in November and there's been a lot of change through the winter. Everybody's in great spirits and working hard and pulling the same direction.
Are you enjoying that it's new, that it's something different after all this time?
I am. I mean, I have a different purpose in this experience. I mean, ultimately, I want what's best for this race team, and I'm trying to select races and tracks that really help our organization grow. Sure, I want to win. I mean, I'm getting a car. That's the standard thing. It's what I want to do. But this is more about the long game. This is more about being a part of a growing race team than it is really about that fierce competitive side that I've always operated by. I mean, it naturally turns on when I'm in the car, but I'm wearing a lot of hats at this point.
Jerry.
Jerry Jordan, kickingthetires.net. So in the duels, what's your strategy at this point? Is it still kind of to learn a little bit, or do you try to get racy, and how will that transfer over into the 500?
Yeah, we need to learn. There's no doubt about it. I mean, there's 2 practice sessions, I think, before the 500, but it is best to get in there and try to learn. So I just need to be aware of these situations I'm putting myself in, be aware of what's going on around me, and if I don't like it, get out. But trying to find quality reps in the duel itself or the 2 practice sessions, I've got to do that. I've got so much to learn about the car. Todd has not worked on this car before. I have a new spotter, a spotter I've never worked with before. So there are a lot of elements here we need to get reps.
So it doesn't matter where you finish.
No, that part's behind us, thankfully. Yep, education.
Bruce.
Jimmie, for the past 2 seasons, you said you had to forget everything that you had learned in NASCAR because that car was so completely different. So you return to NASCAR in a car that's completely different than what you had before. So how much of that previous experience that you had in the car did you have to forget and retrain yourself with this car?
Yeah, it is different, but it still is a stock car. The weight of the vehicle, the amount of downforce it has. I think within 4 or 5 laps at Phoenix in the new driver test, I was on pace and felt back at home and had the big heavy car sliding around and moving around all the queuing that I'm so used to. So yes, it is different, but it's way more familiar than what I had in 2 years driving Indy cars.
And what you were able to do tonight, even though it was a rough ride, and you said that you didn't know whether the car was performing the way it should, did this go better than you had hoped?
I didn't know what to expect, honestly. I mean, I really didn't. To be the fastest of the non-chartered cars, to be in the middle of the pack, in the situation we're in and how late this program got off the ground, I'm really happy with where we landed. It was just about making the race, and I'm so thankful I don't have to race through the duels. So, we definitely hit our marks.
Every driver obviously wants to do the best they can. Every driver in the field believes that they can win the race. In restrictor plate races, anything can happen. But having said that, I'm just so fortunate to have sponsors that came from Raleigh, Black Rifle Coffee and Dixon, to give me an opportunity to get in there with the 2311 team that gave me a car that was capable to get in on time. And it was funny because everyone's celebrating and excited, and Kurt Busch came right up to me at the end. He said, "Okay, now we get to work." And it's cool. When Denny brought me onto the team, he was the first one that didn't just say, "Oh yeah, like bring your money," or we'll try to get you a charter. He goes, "You're gonna have to work your way in. We don't have a charter for you, but we can give you a car that I believe you can be capable of helping our team to win. Whether that's Bubba, whether that's Tyler, whether that's Denny, whether that's a Toyota, and to have the opportunity now to try to start learning and try to figure out how to do the best that I can as a teammate to get up there and start next to this guy right over here in the duel."
So
Sorry.
you two were like a car apart out on pit road, which gave you guys a chance to talk. You're both kind of going for the 2 spots. What were you guys talking about, and did he give you any tips, or did he hog it all for himself?
Yeah, we were talking. He said his daughters are riding horses down in Florida, not too far to comp, and my daughters are doing a cheer competition in Pennsylvania, and both of our families said if we qualified for the 500, they'd come watch. So pretty excited about that.
So that's what you guys are
No, not at all. But a little bit earlier, but some of it, yeah. No, I mean this has been a dream come true. It's something that actually when Jimmie had won out in California Speedway, I was one of my first dates with my wife, and I was like, "Hey, I want to do." And his poor wife was pregnant, and I had a few drinks during the race, and we were keeping him up late at night. And I said, "Man, I want to do the 500." And after that, I talked to Trevor Bain and got in with Waltrip and everything. And then I got lost believing that I could actually race and be competitive. And I'm not as good as these guys at rear-wheel drive or pavement, but it's a restriction plate race, and I made enough friends along the way, and I've been driving more than I've ever driven. Had more seat time, had more pavement time. We actually out-qualified in an all-pavement rallycross track, the world champion. And I feel like, I said to my wife, I said, look, I want to spend more time home. I want to step back a little bit. But right now, this is the best chance that I have, the best sponsors I have, the best success that I've had in vehicles to put my best foot forward. And when Denny said, hey, let's come on, and I believe that you can drive a car sideways, and when we come down to the end, I'll push you. I said, that's all I need. Let's go.
All right, back there and then up to Jerry.
Jacob Seelman, 77 Sports Media, Kicking the Tires. Travis, first off, congratulations. This is special, I know, for you on two levels. I'll go with the two-wheel side first. You've done a lot of things in motorsports, but I think one that comes to mind for me, legacy of two-wheel guys in the 500. Paul Goldsmith comes to mind as one of the greats. What does this mean to you to kind of be able to follow on and kind of put your own stamp on this like Paul did back in the day?
You know, it's pretty cool. There's a lot of guys that came from two wheels, including that guy right over there. But you know, I got my first win in the pro ranks here at Daytona in the 125 class. You know, it was a great track for me there. We've qualified front row here in you know, in the what used to be the Nationwide Series, and finished 10th backwards across the grass down the front straightaway. So I've spent a lot of time in the grass out there. Hopefully won't be doing that this weekend, but you know, at the end of the day, we've had good success here. We've had great vehicles, great teams, and at the end of the day, I have a lot of friends on the track, and I'm really hoping to still have friends at the end of this week. I know there's a lot of the drivers have all been amazing, every single driver in every team, and going out of their way, even all the teams, to really help me put my best foot forward here. And I just really want to hopefully make sure the NASCAR fans, when I leave here, they're not like, oh, what an idiot. You know, they say, oh, that guy, you know, he drove very considerate and very smart and was able to get it to the finish line at the end. And if I can get this car on the lead lap to the finish line, I've never said that before about anything other than winning, but that'll be a win.
Well, I know there's one friend that you wish could be here to see it. I know Ken Block was one of those inspiration type people for you, and I feel like just kind of the way I heard it was really part of the spark for you to go, hey, if I'm going to do this, I need to do it now. Well, what does it mean for you to put it in the show for Ken, and kind of what he meant to your racing career?
You know, Ken's wife, Lucy, and two of his kids came down. They watched their first NASCAR qualifying. They came out. They flew out this morning, and they're flying back tomorrow morning. They just wanted to be here to support. And for me, I was pretty emotional at the end of this, just that they came out for me. And this is for everything, you know, everything that I'm able to do right now, and even the pavement experience I'm able to have, is because Ken Block was able to build a sport around having fun, sliding cars, and to allow me to be part of that Gymkhana series and to build Rally the way it is. I'm forever thankful, and could not be more thankful and happy that his you know, his family's here, and I can't wait to, you know, help do anything that I can to get Leah, his well, and his other kids as well. But Leah, she's a phenomenal driver, and I bet she'll be here racing the 500 at some point. She's definitely going to be one of the top rally drivers in the U.S. of all time. Thank you.
Jerry Jordan, Kicking the Tires.net. Jimmie probably knew exactly where he needed to be on time and points and making the show. I heard Bubba say that they were hazing you a little bit and kind of left you hanging. What was going through your head when you finally found out?
They didn't really tell me anything, so I assumed they're like, it's probably P3. We'll wait until the car behind you finishes. And I thought that meant I was P3 already, and I'm like, I was really disappointed. They're like, oh, you got him by a couple car lengths. Congratulations. It's like, okay, wait, we're in? Like, it's just to be a part of the Great American Race. I mean, even looking at the little pass that I got today that said Cup Driver. I mean, dude, this is cool. I'm a motocrosser. I was able to go rally. I've been able to do a lot of fun things. And yeah, we've dabbled a little bit in NASCAR, and I got chewed up and spit out by these guys really fast. But at the end of the day, it's because they're the best drivers I believe in the entire world. And it's an honor to be able to race with these guys and to be able to line up in the 500 on Sunday will be a dream come true no matter what the outcome is. And I'm just going to try to be as smart as I possibly can, make as few mistakes as I possibly can. And honestly, it's, Kurt Busch, like I said it the best when I came out. It's like, now the homework starts. Let's get to work.
Let's go back there and then up to Bruce.
Zach Sterniola with NASCAR.com. Travis, just curious, it was a brief experience on the racetrack, but can you describe what the lap was like behind the wheel?
Not using expletives you can use. No, so you get in the simulator, right? And I always forget because I've been out there. It's been a while, but like you kind of get the groove in a little bit. But I'm getting up to speed and I'm watching the tack and trying to. It's got no suspension on the car because they put it on the ground, so it's hitting all the bumps and you're basically vibrating your teeth out of place and trying to hit my marks. And I missed my second shift. It wasn't quite perfect, and I'm like, oh man. And then I didn't step off the gas enough, and I'm like had to double pull in the backstretch. I'm like, I just blew it. And then we're going in, and they said, whatever you do, don't touch the brake. And I just wanted to put my foot over top of the brake pedal just as a security blanket, because I tell you what, 180 or however fast we're going, you don't feel that in a simulator. There, and I don't care. People say it's a restrictor plate race, and it's 99.9% the car, but you're still going around a corner at 180 miles an hour with the car with no suspension, with your teeth vibrating out, and you're going, here we go. So it was pretty cool.
And then do you set any expectations for tomorrow at this point, or does that start in meetings tomorrow morning?
So I've got some awesome sponsors, an awesome car, and I took the money for this race and I put it into racing the Truck Series and racing the Dirt Car Nationals last week. So we didn't quite have enough money to cover it, and all the damage that's done is on me. So it's my kids' college education fund. So you will be seeing a very mellow race tomorrow. We got Hedleski in there, hopefully going to tell me when. I'll do whatever I can to learn as much as I can. But looking at Noah Gragson last year, he was 3 laps down, and I would be perfectly fine with that if that gets us in the show, and we can start from there. Having said that, I go into tomorrow, as any racer does, trying to learn what we can. And if it looks, and Hedleski tells me to go and start pushing and start learning, well, it is what it is, and we'll try to make the smart decisions all the way through. Yes. And I'm not known for doing great here, and it does tend to get a couple people caught off guard. So, but no, I'm so very fortunate to be here. This is something that's not about the money, or it's not about anything. It's about trying to be a part of the Great American Race, and to have an opportunity to qualify with such a great team, and to be brought on with so many people around me that are helping me to do the best that I absolutely possibly can. And at the end of the day, we're in it to do the best that we can, and I don't, damage or no damage, like my goal is to obviously not be the cause of any of it, and try to do the best we can. But hey, I'm going for it, so we'll see what happens. It doesn't matter whose fault it is. I'm hoping.
Bruce?
You made a career out of extreme sports, but is this as nervous as you've ever been to try to make an event?
I don't think I've ever gone to an event before where I haven't been thinking about winning. This is definitely the first time I went to an event really concerned I wouldn't qualify. So it definitely goes to show you, just the level of everything, the level of the teams, the level of the competition, and the excitement to strap in, having never been out of second gear in a cup car other than doing a pit practice, and getting to fifth in the backstretch going, here we go. It's been pretty cool.
And what is this, you making the Daytona 500 do for the extreme sports community? It shows that they too can make the Daytona 500 if they set their mind to it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been driving go-karts since I was 2, like every other driver out there, and competitive in rally for the last almost 20 years. Racing and driving has been my passion, and it's interesting. A lot of the guys that follow NASCAR are just the fans. They know me as a TV personality or a stuntman, but really in my heart, it's been a racer. It's been a motocross racer, and built a reputation as a car driver as well as a race car driver. Having said that, it's been really cool that when I announced I was going to come over here, the action sports community jumped on board 110%. And so many people are like, man, I'm watching the 500. Like, I'm so excited. I haven't been excited since I was a kid, from our industry to see this. And the dirt car crew, when we were able to go out there and get a win at Volusia, I think was definitely something that, yeah, definitely wasn't the quickest out there, but just to be able to pull that off, I think, and just have some fun with the grassroots fans, I think went a long way. And qualifying here is one thing. It's definitely a lot to do with the car, but if I can put together a good performance, maybe not even result wise, but just prove that I can be a good teammate for the 2311 team and not cause any trouble, I think that'll be a huge win for me.